now we're rolling, so we should be good to go. And yeah, we're just going to run through some questions here about your progress, your journey, Haiti.
Yes.
So let's just kind of start there. The first question is, who are you? Who is Haiti outside of your health and fitness journey? And what does like your everyday life look like before you
Yes.
got into fitness?
Okay. Um, before you or like fitness as a whole?
Both before fitness as a whole, and then since we met.
Okay. So yes, I'm Haiti. I'm 24. I am married. I have a dog and a cat. I'm faith driven. I'm always looking for personal growth. I love being a leader. I lead a team of, I want to say 15, 16 people at work that are under me. So I'm always striving for feedback, growth, how I can be better, and just always looking to like promote, pretty much promote. So everyday life, well, before my fitness journey, I don't know. I was just always work. And then I was in school. So I graduated in 2024 with my bachelor's in business. So it was school work, and then church. And I was serving at church. I love to sing. So I was in the choir, singing on Sundays, practice Friday, commuting from Fort Collins to Greeley because that's where my home church was at. And then after I graduated, I got promoted at work, and then that's when kind of my fitness journey started. I wasn't confident in the gym. I couldn't go to the gym alone. Um, I just wasn't comfortable. I was like, I don't want to look stupid. Like someone has to be telling me what I need to do. I will never go alone. So once that started, I was always with someone. Um, couldn't go alone. And then if I took a break, it would be like 2 to 3 weeks before I went back to the gym. There was no
Mm.
consistency. The diet was not there either. I still like Wing Shack is my favorite food. Wing Shack weekly, like well once a week, not every day. But me and my sister would be like, "Let's go get Wing Shack." I'm like, "Okay, I'm down." So I love lemon pepper wings, and Wing Shack is the best. And it sucked at that time because I lived 5 minutes away, so we were
Oh,
always there.
dang.
Which is good protein, so I'll justify that. But yeah, so I was always eating out. Like at work, I did not meal prep. Always eating out. McDonald's was always my go-to also. Like I wouldn't get big meals, but it's still not healthy. So like I would get like a cheeseburger, a small fry. I get the $5 meal deal, the 4 nuggets, the burger, the small fry, and the small drink. Um, I'm a coffee addict, so I was always getting Dutch Bros every
Yep.
day, every day without fail. Sometimes like I'll make my coffee at home, but then I'd get Dutch Bros on lunch with my sister because we worked together for a while before I got promoted. So we drive together and we're gonna make coffee at home, and then on lunch we'd be like, "You want to get Dutch?" And I'd be like, "Okay, let's go." Or Scooters or whatever not Starbucks, but either Dutch Bros or Scooters. I would like, okay, we deserve it or something like that. Um, and then with her, she was like going to the gym more than I was, but we were still in the same like diet, like nothing structured. Um, but then she started making her own food at home, and so I started too, but no meal prep, no actual like macro planning. It was just like we would make like picadillo, right? Like ground beef potatoes, and then rice or broccoli on the sides, whatever. Then we started implementing like sweet potatoes. We started packing, oh, beans. Beans was the biggest thing because we eat beans a lot. And so it'd be ground beef and beans. And that was fine. And then, but still getting Dutch Bros. And then slowly we started shifting into, she wanted to start, I don't even know, like, I haven't really asked her what her transition was, but then she's like, I'm going to start using alternative creamers, almond milk or oat milk. And I'm going to start using serving sizes. So, like, no more like make it creamy. Like, it was like, whatever it says is the serving, that's what we're going to. I was like, oh, that does not taste good. But then she got me on it. And then I started doing that same thing, almond or oat milk creamer, which was a little bit better. Um, but we would still get Dutch. So like it really didn't matter what we were doing because we were still getting Dutch Bros every single day. Um, and then yeah, I don't remember what my calorie drinks were. I would get something that wasn't like too much, because I would
Okay.
get like a cold brew, like a cold brew. I forgot, Golden Eagle cold brew. So it was like some
Yeah.
like a splash of half and half. So it wasn't that bad at that point, but still not, still half and half.
Yeah, yeah.
So then that happened, and so we would meal prep here and there. But then we'd be like, after work, we like, let's go get Wing Shack because there's a Wing Shack on our way home.
So
So
the intentions were there, but you just veered off
yes,
track often.
yes, exactly. And
Okay.
we'd be like, nah, like we made lunch from home this whole week. Let's go get Wing Shack. We'd be like, okay, okay. And then and yeah, and I love ranch. Well, we both love ranch. And ranch, like I didn't realize how like I haven't. I'll maybe dip a fry in ranch like every once in a while, but like I've pretty much taken it off my diet, which is crazy because I eat ranch with hamburgers, with pizza, with wings, with fries. Like ranch is so good, but it's very high. Well, in moderation, it's good, but we would get like 2 or 3 ranch cups. So
Yeah.
plus, it's already high fat. It's just a lot. So, anyways, um, yeah, took ranch off my diet, whatever. Then we were kind of like health conscious, more veggies and fruits. Like we were eating a lot of like, grapes, carrots were big in our diet. Um, and then I started going more to the gym. And at this point, I was getting workouts off TikTok. Um, and I was even going maybe a little bit more than my sister. We would go to different gyms, and I started having initiative myself, but still like no structure. I would only do what I was comfortable with, wasn't pushing myself. And then I entered into a intense cardio phase. I was on the Stairmaster 4 to 6 days a week for an hour.
Dang.
Started off at level 3, then I could go up to level 8. So started doing that. My sister would invite me to the gym, and I'm like, only if you do cardio, because I did not want to lift whatsoever. I was like, nah. Um, and then we talked about this where like my purpose was longevity.
Yep.
And I'll say it this here because I mean you're gonna post it, whatever. So like in the Hispanic community, working out is not a thing. Not in I mean some families yes, but traditionally it's not a thing. Like it's like no, you have to eat and you have to eat good, right? Tortilla, beans, rice. You gotta like if you're not eating with tortilla, what's wrong with you? Like you got
Yep.
like my parents were like no, make sure you eat tortilla with that food. um and so wasn't necessarily overweight, but I remember in college, and I'm sorry, Isa, you need all the time in the world because I can talk forever.
Let's go.
But
This is good.
um so yeah, like I said, I was in college, and so during COVID, I started college in 2020, so like masks, we couldn't really go out of our dorms and stuff like that, and our meals were like, instead of having a dining hall, they would have options for you to get, and they would package it for us, and then you'd go pick it up at the dining hall. And so I paid, well, it was actually like my first year was paid, thank God. But like I got the 15 meals a week plan, and I was like, well, I'm not going to let this go to waste. So I was eating 3 times a day, which is not bad, but like the amount of food I was eating was not okay. And
Got
I
it.
would also stress eat. So, but I had no movement whatsoever. I wasn't going to the gym. At that point at work, I was a cashier. I was standing, right? Like I was not moving. Um, and I didn't realize, like, I'm going to say it because I didn't realize how fat I had gotten at like till maybe 2 years later.
Dang.
One of my brothers would always be like, "Te estás poniendo gorda, like you're getting fat," and I'm like, "Nah," like because when you see yourself every day, you don't notice the changes. My brother wouldn't see me so often, so he definitely knew I was getting big, but I
Yep.
was like, "Nah." He's brothers, they kid around. It's like whatever. And this wasn't Jason; it was another brother.
Okay.
But and then when I look back and I'm like, oh my God, like I was forcing myself to eat these meals. Like everything had like, it had protein, rice, whatever. I would get like a chicken meal. I would eat my breakfast because I'm a big breakfast person. So I'll eat my breakfast, and then I take my lunch, my dinner for work, have something on break, whatever. Full sugar soda because I love Pepsi. And then I'd come home and I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna have a bowl of cereal. Was I hungry? No, like not at all. But I was eating anyways. and
Got
no
it.
movement. Again, like if I had at least some activity in my life, that would have been different, but I had no movement whatsoever. And I also had a free membership for the CSU gym. Went once in my whole 4 years, went one time. And
Dang.
yeah. And so then before this was like early in, well, not, yeah, kind of early in my Walmart career. I then switched to digital, which is like online grocery shopping, and this is where you shop for people's orders.
Oh yeah.
That's where I started getting movement in my life, and I started
Got
losing
it.
weight naturally. Still haven't changed the eating habits, nothing like that. But I started walking more, and then I started losing the weight just because like the movement is a big part of it, right? Like
Yeah.
if you like, you at least have to be moving, right, 30 minutes, whatever, oh, for longevity, and just like you're not stagnant. So I started moving more, I started walking more, like, instead of being standing 8 hours of my shift, I would 6 to 8 hours of my shift I was walking. And then I noticed I was losing weight. And I remember when I was gaining this weight, I remember one time I had a roommate at the time in my dorms, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I have to go up a pant size. And then I'm like, I wonder why. Like, I was like, I wonder why. Okay, well, because I was gaining so much weight.
Yeah.
And
Do you know, real quick on that, do you
yeah,
know, so this was just a couple of years ago, so it's not that long ago when you were in
yeah,
college, right?
mhm,
So at that time, you were trying to be health conscious, like you had been to the gym before with your sister. But you were very stagnant, especially
yeah,
with COVID, everything's locked down
yeah.
and stuff. And so you're get a job where you're just simply moving more, just walking more, and you start
Yeah.
losing weight. Do you know what you were at your heaviest at that time, or the biggest pant size you were at,
No,
maybe?
yes. So, well, and so the movement with my sister was only about 2 years ago. And as because I flipped the story, I'm like, I have to think about
Oh,
everything
okay.
now. But like
Got it.
the college part was before me
Ah,
making more
got
health conscious decisions with my sister.
got it.
But yes, my big and like I said, I didn't realize how bad it had gotten. Well, now I can see it in my pictures. I'm like, oh my gosh, like that was like, I mean, I wasn't like, oh, I mean, I was probably obese because I'm 5'2". So, but my biggest pant size I ever reached. And for me, it was like, oh, like I like having, bigger legs and a bigger bottom. So it didn't register with me that it was no, like you're gaining weight. Like it was like, oh, like that's a
Yeah.
good, for girls, like I know it's common for us to be like, oh, like bigger hips, bigger bottoms. So I was like, oh, like this is a good thing. Not necessarily like, you know so I reached a pant size 11 and 13. I could fit into an 11, 13. um pre Previous to that, the smallest size I could fit in was a size 7. So
Damn.
that
Okay.
was like a big, and it was like not like from one pant to another, but like drastically. I was like, oh, I can fit in a size 11, a size 13. I was like, okay. But for me, at that point, was like, oh, that's like a good thing, like having bigger, body, like a bigger waist down. But
Yeah.
it wasn't a good thing. And now I'm back to a size 7. I
Dang.
think I've been like in between pant sizes, so I've slowly been dropping down.
Yeah.
uh so yeah, back to a size 7. I think I could fit into size 5. um so yeah, like I definitely know, I'm like, yeah, that was like a crazy time. um
So what was the moment where, okay, you're gaining some weight,
mhm,
then you move to digital, you start walking around
yes.
more, you start
Mhm.
losing some weight. What was the point where you were like, okay, I need to do something different and like actually committed? Was it when you started working out with your sister then, or like what happened? Like what actually helped you make that decision?
Yeah, so there's like a lot of factors. One, because so I had a coworker, and this is where I'm telling you, like people who don't see you for bigger periods of times can tell the drastic differences. So there's this
Yeah.
coworker I would get along with. She was an older lady. Her name's Jan, and I still see her. She comes, but she doesn't work with Walmart anymore. She would shop. Well, we were both cashiers at the time. She saw me at my heaviest. So she left Walmart. I think she had like an injury or something or whatever. So she left Walmart. I'm now in digital walking more, and I've dropped some weight unconsciously though. During this whole period of time of me gaining weight, I had never weighed myself because it was not like, it genuinely was not a worry of mine. I don't know why. I don't know why. So I never weighed myself. I honestly don't even know what I was at my heaviest. Um, so yeah, I didn't weigh myself. And so years later, I'm in digital now. She comes into the store to shop and she tells me, she's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, well, and we're talking. I'm like, "Yeah, like why?" She's like, "Oh, you just like," she thought I was like sick and that's why I was losing weight. So
Oh,
yeah, so she was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like, like, yeah, I'm like perfectly fine, whatever." But at this point, still no gym. It was just the walking. The walking was the biggest difference at that point. And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm okay." She's like, "Oh, you've just like you're losing weight. Like, are you taking like what are you doing? Are you taking medication or something?" And I'm like, "No, like everything's fine." So something clicked in my brain at that point, but still have not made big changes. I was just like, "Oh,
yeah.
like I'm like, damn, was I that fat?" Like in my head, I'm like, damn, like what? Like it's like a good feeling, but also like oh my gosh, like was I that
Yeah.
big?
Yeah,
So
a little
anyways,
reality check for you.
right. So then but yeah, I'm walking more, whatever. Um, and then yeah, and so then um at the person I was dating at that time in college, they would go to the gym, and I'm like, then I was like, okay, how about I go with you? I've never been to the gym. Like I had been to the college one, but I'm like, I don't feel comfortable doing anything on my own. Like how about I go with you? Um, and then that person was like, yes, like let's go. But I could never go alone. So he would teach me some things like basic stuff, and I was weak. Like I could not lift at all. Like I could barely. I remember doing bench pressing, and I could barely lift the bar on my own. And now I haven't really done bench pressing, but I can do the bar, no help, no assistance or anything. Um that so then yeah. And then so I just noticed, and then every time that coworker would come in, she'd be like, "Oh, you look great. Like you're losing more weight." Well, she wouldn't say it like that, but pretty much is what she's saying.
Yeah.
So I would, and like there was like a little bit of motivation in me, and when I look back on my pictures, I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like you could definitely tell I was big. Well, I was
Yeah.
chunkier. I wasn't eating right, and so like I remember how swollen my face was just because I was consuming so much sugar. Like sugar has a
Mm,
lot to do with that. Like I wasn't consuming enough water, and so I would wake up swollen because
dang.
like how much sugar. And so then I started going to the gym a little bit more regularly. But then at this point, it's like if I took a break, I would go like maybe 3 weeks without going, and then I'd get back into it. And
Got
then
it.
3 months later in that process, I get my own gym membership. I'm like, okay, I feel a little bit more comfortable. Like I can go on my own
Okay.
now. I get my
Nice.
own membership. And then I don't even remember. Oh, there was this lady, I forgot what her name was. She's a kickboxer and she goes to my gym, and I see her practicing with ladies there, and I'm like, okay, like that seems bad. Like my brother's done MMA like for a little bit. My sister's done it for a little bit, and I was like, that seems fun.
Yeah.
So I see the gym post it and be like, "Oh, like if you guys are interested in blah blah blah." And I'm like, I'm going to do the free class with her, personal training. And so I do it with her, and I'm like, this is something I could do, right? So I'm like, okay.
Got it.
I do the class with her at my gym because she went there herself, and then she was offering personal training classes. And I'm
Cool.
like, so then she has a bundle class. If like I forgot, I don't remember if it was a month. I think it was a month, 3 classes a week for a month for a certain bundle price. And I'm like,
Okay.
I want to do it. Okay. So I'm doing so I signed up. I'm doing kickboxing. I get my own gloves, my own wraps, and everything. And I'm doing like intense, well, it's kind of like hit cardio, I would say. Kickboxing
Yeah.
is kind of like at least what she was having me do. So I was doing that 3 times a week. And I noticed a big difference then in my weight too. I was like, oh my gosh, like
Okay.
I love this. I love intense cardio. I love breaking a sweat. Then I'm still going to the gym, and then I sign up at Kick House for a kickboxing membership. And so I'm doing that and the gym. Still like not a perfect routine. Like I don't have like I don't have a set routine at the gym for lifting. It's just cardio
Yeah.
and intense kickboxing, cardio and intense, like, um so yeah, so that, and then I'm a little hazy on the details there, but that happens. I let go of kickboxing because I'm like, it's expensive, especially if it's just a kickboxing gym. I'm like, I'm just gonna
Okay.
do the gym. So I haven't done kickboxing since, pretty much.
Okay.
uh
And then at what point then did we find each other in this journey? Because it was around this time you
oh
were doing
yeah,
the
yeah.
kickboxing.
So
So then when did we meet? I honestly don't remember at what point you were at in this part of your journey.
so this was still later. This was not even, we had still not met.
Okay.
So, well, I knew of you because my brother did your challenge. And I remember, and like this, like, and I'm going to mention this because I would make fun of him in my head. I'd be like, look at this guy. Like, he would feel, and at this point, he was still at my mom's. So I remember like cupboards being full of protein powder, pre workout. And I'm like, look at this. He's full of it, is in my head. I would be like, he's full of it or whatever. And then he'd be like the full fridge of pre like meal prep containers, and I'm like, bruh, like taking up our space. And I remember making fun of him. Like one time he ate a piece of toast with peanut butter and he put his creatine on it, and I was
Oh
like,
wow.
what is this guy up to? So whatever, and I'm like, okay, whatever. And then I'm like, I remember seeing him post that he won your challenge on his Instagram. And I'm like, oh, like I posted it too. And I was like, I'm super proud of him, whatever. Like, but whatever. And like, no, that's it. Like, that's all I cared for that. Um, so then now, like, he goes to the gym. My sister goes to the gym. I'm going to the gym. But still only cardio. Like, I'll lift with my sister and I'll do whatever she tells me to do. But I hate lifting, right? That was my mentality.
Yep.
Um, and then one time it was like all three of us were at the gym together because my sister and my brother would go to Vasa, and then he'd be like, "What are you guys doing here?" We're like working out, and then whatever, go on our own separate way. And then yeah, so then last year, right? Like I've already built a routine. I go to the gym, but like again, no real structure. Um so yeah, like I would only do cardio, maybe run like a 5K on the treadmill, do stairmaster, run outside, or walk my dog for 6 miles, like every like 3 to 5 times a week. Like, yeah, it was just cardio heavy. That was all I focused on. And then I did increase my water intake, and that made a big difference in my well, I wasn't like suffering with acne, but I could tell my face is different just from how much water I was drinking. So I would aim to drink, started off with like 3 water bottles a day, or what is that, 36, 48 fluid ounces, whatever. I would buy
Yeah.
bigger water bottles to just drink more water. I was eating more fruit, and I'm not sure like what changed in this process, but I would eat very little. Like I would, and like now I'm like, I can't even, like now I'm like, now that I'm in protein based, I guess, or
Protein conscious.
yes, protein conscious. Like I can eat like no other. But before it was like no, like I'd be like, and not just because I was a girl, sometimes we're like, no, like I'll just have a little bit. No, I would eat like a little. It was like, I don't even know how much ounces of meal prep that we would make, right? Ground beef and beans, and I'd be like, no, I'm full. Like, and my sister would be like, you want more? And I'm like, nah, I'm like, and now it's like, no, that's not even like nothing. That's nothing. Um, and so yeah, so that happened, and then I lost track already.
That's
Oh
okay.
yes.
So
So I remember now.
yes, go ahead.
Um so yeah, so then like, and then I'm going on Facebook, and then I have Vanessa as a friend on Facebook, and she shared that you were giving out the scholarships for that time
That's right.
period. So I'm like, in my head, I'm like, okay, so I've taken, my fitness a little bit more seriously. Like I'm doing the walking, I'm doing, workouts here and there. Um, but I'm like, I know I could do better. And I was like hesitant, very hesitant. But so I'm scrolling through Facebook, and then I see the scholarship thing, and I'm like, I'm like, well, my brother did this and I know it works, right? But I was like, I'm only okay, like I'm gonna sign up for the scholarship, and I'm like, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, right? Like I was like, if like I'm not gonna pay for it, but if I get a scholarship, like obviously like it's something that I'm interested in doing, so I fill it out and I'm like, don't think nothing of it. I'm like, whatever. And then I win like the partial scholarship or whatever. And then we didn't meet until like that interview that we had together.
Yeah,
Like
that's right.
before that, like I'd seen you obviously in passing, whatever, but yeah. And then yeah, so when I saw that, and I do remember like my brother would meal prep, but I didn't think it was as deep as like weighing your food. And like I told you, I told myself I will never ever ever weigh my food. If I
Yep.
ever get to that point, I've lost my mind. Like I want to be health conscious, I want longevity, I want to be healthier, but I will never weigh my food. That's what I told myself. I've never weighed my food.
The times have changed.
Yeah, and so then when I remember when we met for like our consultation or whatever, to discuss like me winning it and what that entails, and you said weighing my food, I was like, in my head, I was like, no, like I cannot do that. I cannot do that. Like that's not what I want.
So did that
Um,
almost prevent you from wanting to join altogether?
Part of it, yes, but the biggest thing for me is I did not want to give up my eating lifestyle. I was like,
Mm.
because you were like, no, like it's meal prepping, like you have to give up. Well, it's not necessarily giving up, but everything has to account into your macros. But honestly, and I told you because the coffee was a big thing for me. And I was like,
Yep.
and I
You were
went like,
very nervous in the beginning.
yes. And I was like for me, like I know your program's called Results Without Restrictions, but in my mind, it was Results with Restrictions. Like that was I gave myself that. And I remember I went like 3 or 4 months without getting Dutch Bros. And I was like, that's crazy. Now I get Dutch Bros because I've found almond milk alternatives. Like I'm not my drinks aren't 400, 500 calories. Like I can enjoy
Yep.
my coffee. Like I get a sugar-free almond milk latte. It's only 100 calories if I get a medium, and I can fit that into my day-to-day basis. But
Yep.
before I was like, well, I can't even enjoy Dutch Bros anymore. I can't get wings. I can't get anything. Um and so yeah, like I was like, and I'm gonna be realistic, like I've lost some of that discipline, and I'm like, I wonder. Well, and also like there's a lot of things going on in my life, like that stress has a big factor into it. But I
Yes.
was like, I don't know what like, but I was like so disciplined, like that when I started with you, I was like, nope, no Dutch Bros, nope, can't have a bite of that, nope.
Yep.
Um, but that
So what
is the
did
mentality. Or go ahead.
I was gonna say, what did those first few months like really feel like once we started? So not like what
Okay.
happened on the scale or anything, because I
Yes.
know you lost some significant weight, but
Yes.
what shifted the way you were showing up when you first joined the program?
So I cried. Okay, the first day, like, and I don't even know why, but I
I don't think I
remember.
knew. I did not know this.
No, so I'm gonna tell you. Okay, so I signed up for the program, and like, still up until like, because you gave me, I think till the end of the month, it was like a couple days, and I was still hesitant. I was like, nope, I'm just gonna tell him I don't want to do it. Like, I was like, I don't want to do it. Like, I just don't. And I'm sure there was a lot of it. I was one doubting myself. I was like I don't trust that I'm going to be able to do this. Number 2, I don't want to give up my food. And I was like, I have to actually buy groceries. Well, not that I didn't do that before, but I'm like, I won't have McDonald's. I won't have Wing Shack. I won't have Dutch Bros. Like, I won't have, my panko cafe, like my high calorie concha or whatever. I'm not going to eat tortillas. When I tell you tortillas, like anything flour, tortilla, bread is my life.
Oh
And I'm
man.
like, I can't eat that. Okay. So I was already preparing myself for like these world ending situations, right? And I say quotations because I promise it was not the end of the world. And it was just like jumping into the unknown. I was like, I've never weighed my food. Like I had to go by a scale. I've never taken protein powder, never like anything like that. And I remember always making fun of my brother for taking protein. I'm like, what? Like this is like crazy. So I was just hesitant on that. So I'm gonna tell you, like, so then the first day comes, okay? I the one thing that set me up for failure was the bad coffee. Okay, because I was like, almond milk coffee is disgusting. I cried. When you have a bad coffee, your rest of your day is just, it does not go good. So that first day, I'm going to work. I make myself a protein coffee. Did the wrong amount of protein. Disgusting. Okay. I'm like, whatever. Okay. Okay. And then that day for um, meal prep, I made ground beef and broccoli. And then I had queso fresco because it's only fat and protein. So I was like, oh, well, I can still at least enjoy that. I cried when I ate that meal. I don't know why. I was just like, what am I doing to myself? Like, right? Like, this is punishment. This is punishment. And I remember at this point, I was hanging out with Enoch, and he was having this good meal. And I'm over here eating. I'm like, every bite, I'm like contemplating. I'm like, why am I doing this? Right? Next day, still hard. That whole week was just like so hard for me. And I don't know. I think it was just like having to discipline myself to like, okay, I'm not gonna get McDonald's, or like we're not gonna get ice cream after dinner, like we're not gonna do this, we're not. So but like I think the biggest thing for me was not being able to enjoy my coffee. And so I was like, that like just like ruined the rest of the day for me. So I cried that first day, but it wasn't like, I wasn't really, in like the grand scheme of things, I wasn't really giving anything up. Like I'm still eating, like I'm not like starving myself. Like at that point I was just like eating the appropriate amount of food. So I wasn't necessarily giving up. Like I'm not hungry, right? I wasn't starving. It was just I didn't know how to do it correctly. So like it took me a
Yeah.
while before I even started going to Dutch Bros and getting an almond milk latte, but I did need that discipline. Like I did need to start off like that, because if not I would have been, if I would immediately been like, okay, I'm still going to fit in Wing Shack and McDonald's, and like I remember telling you like, you're like, okay, you did so well, like after the first month you can reward yourself with the Dutch Bros, and I'm like, no. Like it's either I do it or I don't do it. Like
Yep, I
so,
remember.
and just because I knew that like this was very important to me, just like doing it for myself, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, and so those first few months, but then it felt great. Just like being eating healthy was like a big, big, big shift. Like I
Yeah.
felt awesome. After the first few weeks, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know why I cried over this to begin with. Like, I don't know why I wasn't doing this sooner. And then implementing those workouts, like just having consistency, like the biggest thing for me was the lifting too. I'm like, I hate lifting. And you're like, you're only gonna do 30 minutes of cardio after hit cardio. Like, don't, like, you're not gonna be focused on cardio. And I was like, are you serious? Like, what? And I remember I would also do weighted cardio. Like, I have a weighted vest where I walk my dog with. And I was like, hey, can I use that? And you're like, don't do that until like week 3. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, in my head. I'm like, all these changes, and that's what was stressing me out. And I was like, I can't do it.
Yep.
Like, and then another thing that I did for me was like the financial aspect. At least this is how I thought about it when I first started, was like, oh my gosh, like now I have to spend $200 on groceries, and like
Oh
that's going to
yeah.
be weekly. Like, I was like, I have to buy ground beef, and that's expensive, and now all these fruits and veggies. But then I'm like, I would spend just in one meal, right, $25 on Wing Shack. $25 in groceries will last me the whole week. And I'm like, this is a great investment. But I didn't think about it that way. For some, like, oh my God, like now I just spent $200 on groceries because I was like doing the bulk buy. But then I'm
Yep.
like, wait a minute, like this is actually like this $200 is feeding me for 2 to 3 weeks versus spending, $200 every 2 weeks just for one meal or whatever, whatever the
Yeah.
math is.
Yeah. Wing Shack a couple times a week, Dutch Bros
Yes,
every day. It adds up quick.
exactly. And I was like, wait a minute, like this is actually feeding me more, and it's feeding me correctly, and it's actually
Yes.
satiating versus Wing Shack. Well, like Wing Shack does fill you because it's like chicken, but like you feel gross and bloated and all this. So then I was like, okay, this is actually worth it, right?
Yeah.
I still complained about buying all the food, but I'm like, no, like this, like the ground beef, I think it was like the 2.5 pound lean ground beef costs around $18. I think it still costs that right now. And so I'm like, okay, this will feed me. I was sharing with my sister at the time because we were actually eating the same things. She was not just not on your plan. I was like, this is gonna feed me the whole week or maybe two, depending on like how much I'm serving myself and what I eat for breakfast, whatever. But I'm
Yeah.
like, but then if I buy Wing Shack, it's just one meal, so it really makes it worth it. And
Yeah.
I just didn't have that mentality to begin with, so I was like stressed out over the money. I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to do this and do that and do whatever. Um,
Yeah,
and yeah,
essentially, it's just reallocating funds from here over here. One of them is short term, spending a lot more. You only
yes,
get the one meal for the, like you said, like the quick,
yes,
um, highly palatable type of foods, whether it was the 500-calorie Dutch Bros drink or the Wing Shack. On the other side, you're actually nourishing your body,
hmm,
achieving your health, your longevity goals, and in the long run, it's probably maybe even saving you some money if
yeah,
if you
oh
add
yeah,
up the whole month.
oh yeah, 100%. Because like I said, for how often we were going to Wing Shack, like I'm telling you, I had rewards banked up. Like every time I went, I was able to use rewards. Like that should, like
Damn.
I'm still mad about this is like a side note, but they send you like a Wing Shack merch when you reach a
Oh.
certain tier. I'm still waiting on my merch. But anyways, and everyone in my family loves Wing Shack, so it was like it wasn't only me eating all those wings.
Yeah,
But it was
definitely.
that serious. And so
Yeah,
that was a
I
big
love that.
that was a big change. And like when my family like the hardest part was also being like, oh, my family's getting this, but I have to eat this, you know? But then when I look at it now, I'm like, no, like it was so worth it. And like when I tell other people and like and I'll say this today, like when I look back, if I could change, like maybe I could if I could go back to my hesitant self before I signed up for this and be like, oh, I'll say no, like no, I don't regret it one bit. Like I don't regret doing this one bit. Like I know my older self is gonna thank me and look back because I've established a routine. I can't go like if the gym closed, like I might lose my mind, you know, like I cannot not go to the gym anymore. Like
Same.
it's that serious. And yeah, and so like there's consistency. I'm eating better. I feel better. Like yeah, again, like the water intake was a big game changer, but I was doing that beforehand. And yeah, and like I love that my family was able to notice. They'd be like, "What are you doing? Like, why are you losing so much weight?" And I'm like, "It's gym and eating healthy. Like it's down to those being active and eating and feeding yourself correctly." And
Yes, yes.
yeah, and so yeah, I'm like, I
I
don't
love
know.
that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Really good. I love all of this, Haiti. You're
Yeah.
incredible. You've made so much progress. And so what I wanted to ask you is, so we dieted you down. You
Yes.
got tremendous results. You went on a vacation, got engaged, came back, and we started a reverse diet. So
Yes.
most women have never heard of a reverse diet.
Hmm.
What did it feel like when I told you you're going to be eating more food?
Um, honestly, I was excited because I love it's just crazy. So like I also had never heard about the reverse diet. I just thought it meant like yeah, like you obviously you have to come back up to your your calorie your maintenance intake.
Yep.
Um but I didn't know it came with the different workout style. But yes, I'm like, "Oh yeah, bring me that. I need more food." Like my lowest was 1300, well, like 1280 calories. I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh my gosh, I love bread. I love like when you love bread, I'm like, "Yes, I need the calories like ASAP." And so yeah, I was like excited for it. I was still tripped up in like, yes, I'll have to probably gain a little bit back just because it's like you are eating more, but the results I've made with muscle, that's above it all. So I'm like, I don't care as long as I'm still gaining muscle and I'm still like fueling my workouts. Um, because I know a lot of women, and like I've done this before too, like where it's like, no, I just won't eat. Like I'm just gonna eat like one meal. But it's like nothing. Like, are you even eating enough protein, right? Like I could be like, oh, I drank a coffee and like ate this little 3 ounces of ground beef. Like that's not gonna get you
Yeah.
anywhere. You're not gonna get results. So you need the right food. And like I remember at
100%.
first, before I started reversing, like going down into lower calories, I was like, this is a lot of food. And now I'm like, no, give me that food back. I need it. But I remember
I
being
try
like,
to
oh my gosh, this I was eating like 6 eggs. I'm like, oh my God, like, is this what I'm supposed to eat forever? And I'm like, oh, I did not appreciate how much food I was eating. Like,
I love that. That is one
yeah,
thing I tell, especially the ladies that I coach, which is primarily ladies right now at this
yeah,
point that I'm coaching. I tell them when we're starting our calories high, they're like, "Oh my god, it's so much." I'm like, "All right, you better get it in now because in a month from now you're 200 calories short right now. In a month from now, when I bring your calories down, you're
yes,
gonna be wishing you had 200 extra calories to work
yes.
with." So
I did
that's
not
spot
appreciate
on.
it
That's
enough.
spot
I
on.
remember I was eating protein waffles. I was having my David Killer's cinnamon toast because I'm telling you, bread. Do not put a loaf of bread in front of me or sourdough or anything. I was eating toast, waffles, eggs, still getting all kinds of fruit in, and now I'm like, I did not appreciate it enough. I'm like, now I could like, if on some days I couldn't even eat a one piece of David Killer's toast because it's so high carb. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, I did not appreciate when I was able to eat all of that. Um,
Oh man, that's
but
funny.
obviously
That's
you have to
funny.
make sacrifices. So that's what I
Yes.
learned is like sacrifices are necessary. And I did give up Dutch Bros, and I did eat a McDonald's burger in Costa Rica, but I don't count that because I was not in the U.S. So from 8 months ago, because it's been I think 8 months now, I have not
Yep.
eaten a McDonald's cheeseburger still,
Wow.
and I
Let's
could fit it
go.
in. I could fit it into my macros if I wanted to, but
Yeah.
I'm like, because that was like my addiction. I'm like, no, cannot do it.
Nice. I
Um,
love that. Good for
yeah.
you. I didn't know that. Nice
Yeah,
work.
and so I have gotten their chicken nuggets, but those because that's mainly protein and fat, and so I've been able to fit that into my macros. But I was like, the one thing I'm not gonna do is go back to a cheeseburger, from McDonald's, because
Even
I
their
love.
even the
Go ahead.
I would say even their chicken nuggets are arguably protein
Yes.
and fat. I don't know
Yeah.
how much protein's actually in there, but it's still a better choice than
Yes. So I would get like a six piece.
McDonald's
I'd be like,
burgers every
okay,
day.
exactly. But I'd be a six piece with no ranch. Like that is pain right there. McDonald's
Oh, that's
ranch.
too funny.
Yes, like I get there like they have like this salsa that's 0 calorie. I'm like I could
Yeah.
be having ranch right now. But anyways,
Love
and
that.
so yeah,
So
and then I haven't gotten a high calorie drink since then. I've switched to zero sugar. Haven't had
yeah.
a full sugar soda, and I'm like, why have I not been on this before? You know,
Yep.
like I'll go to the gas station and get myself a large zero sugar Coke,
Yep. Heck
and
yeah.
then like my coffee, I haven't gone back to like I rarely like I don't think I've had milk since then either. Like I haven't had milk. Like if I have like a cup of cereal, it's with almond milk. I love almond milk. And before I
Yeah,
was like,
same.
almond milk is disgusting. Like I'm never gonna drink this. Yeah, I do everything with almond milk. Even when I do like my protein shakes or even like I'll do like the mug cakes. I'll use almond milk
Mhm.
instead.
Yeah,
Um
love
yeah,
that.
and so it's just yeah, so I'm pretty much well I would that be dairy free? No, cuz well, yeah, I don't know. But
Yeah,
and I
I mean,
only
unless you're doing, like, yogurts or and, like, cottage cheese, essentially, you are
okay.
dairy
Oh,
free, yeah.
well, does egg count? No. That's different, right?
No,
Okay.
yeah,
Well, I only do Greek yogurt. Like Greek yogurt is amazing. I was
yeah.
like, "Dang, I
That's
don't know
pretty
why."
much the only dairy I use at this point is
Yeah.
non-fat Greek yogurt because I
Yes.
do enjoy it, but if I go get, like, a full, like, ice cream cone or something, it
Mhm.
just jacks me up now, like, anything with m raw milk in it or, like, whole milk,
Yes.
I'm
Okay,
like,
so
"Nope,
I
no
was
thank you."
wondering, yeah, because like I said, like I have had like a Dairy Queen ice cream, and I'm like, and it does like once you're eating so healthy, like even my stomach will gurgle like after, and I'm like, what? Like I'm not lactose intolerant, but I just haven't had it for
Yeah.
so like or whatever, and so yeah, it's just like your body knows is like that's not
Mhm.
good for you, like you get bloated, whatever.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. So
Yeah.
let's talk about your progress in the program. So
Hmm.
the scale has gone down and we've crept
And
back
up.
up
Hmm.
because like on purpose for a good
Yeah.
reason.
Right.
Let's talk about, aside from the scale, what has been like the biggest changes for you in your progress overall, as far as, confidence,
Yes.
strength, like everything overall.
Um, Confidence is the biggest, because if you're not confident to do your workouts, you're not gonna have results either. If you're just like, nah,
Mm,
like I give up. So I think the confidence has fueled a lot of it. Like when I started going to the gym pre results without restrictions, um, I would always, and like I'm gonna speak truthfully, I would always be like, why are these girls wearing, like, sports bras, and like I'm like, no, like cover yourself up. And now I'm there with them, like I've built the confidence where I can work out in my sports bra because I love what I see in the mirror. Like I am confident in myself. Like yeah, the scale, like I sometimes beat myself up for like the number going back up, but I'm so much stronger. Like I have muscle. Like what? Like it's just crazy. But confidence is the biggest thing because when I walk into the gym, I'm like, I don't care if someone looks at me, whatever. Like, I know what I'm doing. Like, put my music full blast and I'm working out like no other. I walk in between my sets. Like, before I'd be like, no, like, I'm just gonna stay in my little corner and whatever. Like, no, now I flex in the mirror. Like, I'm over here, like, I'm doing the most because I'm confident in what I've built in myself. And, like, that's the
yes.
biggest thing. Like I go to the gym well, I would prefer morning workouts. Now it's like whenever, like after work or whatever, but like before it was like no, like if someone's not there with me, like even then I would still not feel that comfortable. And now I'm at a point where I'm like I would see ladies and be like, I aspire to be that. And now I'm at that point where I'm like, I am confident. Like I go in there, like I rule the gym. And that's how you should feel. Like like, right, when you walk into the room, own it, right? Like own what you're doing there. And that's like the biggest difference is that's how I feel when I go to the gym. I'm like, oh yeah. And then I'm like, now I even have bigger goals, right? Like at some point I would love to do a bodybuilding competition, which a couple
Yes.
years ago that would have been impossible because I didn't have no structure. Now I'm like, okay, like I've done the restriction in terms of like going down in calories.
Yeah.
So now it's like it's all mentality now. Like, be confident when you're at the gym. And like you say, like no one leaves the gym being like, oh, I wish I didn't go. Like I feel worse. Like no, like you feel even more pumped up, especially when you do a PR or whatever. Oh my god, it's the greatest feeling. Like, yeah. So.
Heck yeah. Oh, I love that so much. Yeah. I remember looking at your initial photos till now, and
Mhm.
your arms were fairly skinny, and now you're growing
Yes.
these huge
I
biceps and curling. Talk about the strength gains.
yes.
How
Oh
much
my
are you
god.
curling and pressing now?
Yes. So when like, and I don't remember at one point, but like I started off 10 pounds. Like um and every time I'd go to the gym pre results without restriction, like I'd wake up so sore. I'd be like, oh, like, and obviously you still feel sore because I'm like intentionally working out.
Yeah.
But it's not as bad as it was before, where before it was like I could be bedridden, well, like I wasn't, but like exaggerating. I'd be like, oh, like I can't even lift my arms. I remember when I first started working out and like I will style my hair, even lifting my hands, I was like, oh my god, like I'm in pain. And like, but anyway, so I started off at 10 pounds, slowly increasing, and I did it today again because today was chest and arms. I'm able to curl 25 pounds. Like that is
Dang.
insane, because even 15 was a lot for me. Like, and now I'm like doing, and I did 2 sets today. Last week it was 1 set of 25 pounds.
Yep.
This week I did two, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is amazing, and I can't wait to lift more. Like I'm like, itching for to be like at 30 or 35. Um but yeah, and even like in my legs, like just doing the right workouts has made a big difference. Like my goal before anything was I want to grow a little bit of arm muscle. And now I'm like, yeah, I have it now. So it's amazing.
Oh, heck
My
yeah.
hamstrings are more defined. Yeah, I'm just like yeah, it's just amazing. I'm like I'm getting to the goals that I once thought were like not impossible, but I was like I'm never going to get there like
Yeah.
um yeah, but the consistency definitely the accountability is the biggest part like and just having someone tell you, someone with the knowledge, cuz yeah, TikTok can help you, but like this everyone's different, everyone's body's different, so you really do need
Yep.
like if you want the results, right? If you want like achievable results in a certain time frame, like you need a tailored program. Cause yeah, I could do it on by myself, and now with like chat with AI, like you can tell
Hmm.
AI to give you all these tips and tricks. But if you don't have someone following you behind that, you're never unless your like discipline is like 100%, like you're never going
Right.
to make yourself do it. Like you really won't.
Yeah.
And I consider myself to
100%.
be very disciplined. Like I'm a go getter. Like I said, I'm always looking for personal growth. Like I love being a leader, but I'm like, I still wouldn't have had the discipline to make myself do that. Like, yeah, I was doing cardio like 5 to 6 days a week and whatever, but the diet is a big part. And like on that note, like I wouldn't have the muscle gain I have now if I wasn't fueling myself properly. It's made a big difference. Like I could have been doing
100%.
this exact workouts, eating whatever I wanted, and I wouldn't have the retention in muscle gain. And like for me, like I'm like, I don't know why I was never on this before. But again, if you don't have the knowledge, like you're never gonna be there. So you need someone to guide you through it. Even if
Yeah.
it's like getting like, like how you're doing now, like the metabolism thing, like even something like that, just so you know, like, hey, like what am I not eating correctly or whatever. So yeah.
Yep. Love that. Yeah, and you mentioned being a leader and a manager, and then also in the last, in the time we've been working together, you've
Yes.
gotten engaged
Yeah.
and married. So how has this process changed the way you show up as a leader and as a wife now?
Yeah. Honestly, like because I feel better, I'm a better person. Like not that I was like a bad person before, but
Right.
again, like the way you present yourself has a lot to do with what you do to care for yourself. 100%. So I am such like I've always been a big motivator, and like I know you tell me that like when we talk and whatever, like but like again, I wouldn't trust you if you weren't doing the work. So why would people trust me if I'm not doing the work? So
Ooh, that's good.
I can talk a big game all I want, but if they don't see me do it, then like at work, for example, if I can be like, "Oh, you need to do this, you need to do that." If they don't see me doing the work myself, why would they trust me? It's the same thing in fitness. And like with my now husband, it's the same thing like I push him also like because I'm being pushed, and it just creates better relationships because I'm talking through experience. I'm not just like pulling words out of, wherever and be like, oh, this works, whatever. Like, no, like I've done it. Like, you can do it too. Like, um, and now I'm able to be able to like help other people. Like, if I'm recommending people or I'm like, no, like this works. Like, I'll be like, you want me to show you the pictures? Like, I have my pictures. Be like, no, like, or even like if it's, in terms of just getting like I catch myself doing it too, like with one of my older associates. I'm like, no, she'll be like, yeah, I just need to lose weight. I'm like, okay, first let's start with zero sugar because she loves soda. I'm like,
Oh,
transition to zero sugar, drink more
yep.
water. Like you're already walking more at work, drink more water. And then I'm like okay, like have you thought about the gym? Like the Walmart offers like a paid membership. Like we paid just less
Oh,
money for
cool.
memberships. So I'm like, we have that option. Like, like now that it's nicer, just go on more walks. Like I'm like, no, walking, water, zero sugar, protein, so um
Yes.
again, like
This is
that's shaped.
music to my ears. I love hearing this. This is
Yeah,
awesome.
exactly. And so yeah, honestly, like because I'm also fit, like I'm able to with like my husband, like I'll meal prep the same things I do. Like I'll do it a little bit different because he's taller, so he can eat more than me. Unfortunately, I can't eat. I can't like I always tell you, I can't eat 4,000 calories. Unfortunately, but and so yeah, I just think and like again, the consistency sets you up for success in every aspect of your life, because you want to do something else. You already have like, okay, I need to set a plan. I need to do it certain times a week. Right now I'm like not doing school or anything, but like I know that like if I had this routine during my school time, like the steps I take in school and in fitness, they would have like coincided.
Yeah.
So the structure is just having a structure again sets you up for success in every aspect of your life. Like, um,
100%.
yeah. And so,
That
and when your
that was gonna
partner, yeah, go ahead.
I said that was gonna roll right into my next question. I had two left for you before we wrap this thing up. But
Okay.
what does, like, you are busy. You're a manager.
Yeah.
You work a lot of
Yes.
hours. How, and you're a now wife too, so you have a lot on your plate. How do
Yes.
you manage all of that and still like keep your health and fitness as a priority? How do you balance it all?
Yeah. And honestly, I don't even, I question myself sometimes because I'm like, how am I doing this still? Um, a lot of it has to do with like how I was raised to begin with. Like I come from a family of a lot of siblings. So I've always been a natural born leader. Like that's just who I am. And so I always do things with intention. And for me, like it's a good thing and a bad thing. I always have a sense of urgency. I'm like, no, I got to get it done. I got to get it done. I got to get it done. When I don't do it, I don't feel accomplished. And so there is a balance, but there's also not a balance. Like I'm going to be realistic.
Mm,
Like it's hard for me to take rest days. Like when I'm not doing anything, when I'm not breaking a sweat, I'm like, this is lazy for me. That it's not the case, obviously. Like I have to rest. And so um the biggest thing for me is just like I can't be there for people if I'm not healthy. I can't like again longevity. Like if I want to live a long life with my husband or with my family or see my niece, grow up, like I need to put my health first. And so like obviously a lot of things have changed during my fitness journey. So now it's just added on like I want to be there. I want to be a better version of myself for my partner, for my kids in the future. So yeah, you just have to have structure to balance it. Like I go to work, right? I work 10-hour shifts and sometimes I stay longer. So I'm like, okay, every day, which the planning, right? Meal prep your meals beforehand, whatever, like plan with intentionality. I'm like, okay, so like this week it's been a little bit busy at work and I've been having to stay longer. And I'm like, okay, okay, I'm staying longer today. Is today my rest day or is it my workout day? So I'm like, okay, so it's my rest day, which is only cardio. I'm like, okay, I can stay longer today because I don't have to fit in an hour and a half to 2 hours of a workout into my day
yeah.
today. So I'm like, okay, I can stay late today. Um, and so for like, so then I'm like, okay, well, today was my day off. So I'm like, if I stay late, as in yesterday, I'm like, I have the time to work out purposefully and intentionally tomorrow. If I don't have time for that, then I can't stay late for work. Like, yes, work needs me, but
Mm,
my health comes first. So yesterday, I was like, I could work out today, but if I stay late, I know I'm going to rush through my workout. I'm not even going to
yeah.
finish. I'm going to be so drained by the end of the day. And see, I didn't end up leaving work till 6:40. I went in at 7, left at 6:40. I'm like, okay, so what am I going to do today? And then I looked at Vasa, like I tried out Vasa in Longmont, and I was like, okay, they have a yoga. It's like a restoration class. I'm like, this is
Yeah.
perfect because I don't know how to rest. I need to intentionally go to a class that's going to make me rest. And I was like, okay. And then I walked on the treadmill after on an incline because I was like, I still have to get my steps in. I still have to get my cardio in. But I go to this class and I was debating. I was like, I'm not first time, but I'm like, again, I'm a go getter. So I'm like, okay, if I don't do it, I'm never gonna do it, right? So I go to the class. It was like a yoga class, but super dialed down. Like you were just laying in those positions, resting. And I'm like,
Yeah.
this is exactly what I needed. Like, even though in my mind I'm like, I'm not burning calories. I'm not
Yeah.
this like in my mind, I'm like, this is a waste of time, right?
Oh man.
But no, like you have to rest. And so again, everyone is different. Some people are like, no, they need to work. They need to or they don't not like this might sound wrong, but like if they're day is already like relaxed, they need
Yes.
the workouts, they need
They
the
need it.
intensity.
Correct. Yes.
But not everyone's like that. For me, I'm always on the go, go, go. Like if I'm not doing something on my day off, that's me being lazy. And
Yeah.
it sucks. Like it really sucks. But it's also pushed me where I'm like, okay, I have to work out. If I don't
Yeah.
work out, am I gonna do it tomorrow? If I'm not gonna do it tomorrow, then I have to do it today. Uh
Yes.
and so again,
Love
setting
that.
up that structure where like right now my schedule shifts. So before I was like Sunday, Wednesday, Friday were my workout days. Now it's Saturday, Monday, Wednesday. So you always have to just think ahead and be like, okay, if I take on this thing in my life, right? I switched my schedule. How am I going to accommodate my workouts to this new schedule? Or if I'm going to go back to school, where am I going to fit in my fitness? Obviously, it's not like a don't do these things because you have to work out, but like you do have to make like a schedule pretty much. Even if it's not writing it
Yes.
down, like into it in your mind, you should be like, okay, like if I'm staying late, when am I going to work out? Or maybe I shouldn't stay
Yes.
late because I have to go work out, or
I love
stuff like
that.
that.
I think it's like creating the bare bones. Like, what would a
Mhm.
perfect day look like if I
Yeah.
could make it perfect? It's obviously going to change, and you're not going to stick
Yes.
to that a hundred
Yeah.
percent. But like workout,
Hmm.
family time, right? Like, when am I
Yes.
going to get in all these things? And if things need to be moved around or stay late at work, or get
Yeah.
my workout in before or after work,
Yes.
it's spot on with what you're saying. It's just creating that schedule, that routine that works for
Yes.
you, because everybody's
Exactly.
schedule is going to be different all the time. I
Yeah.
love that. Instead of using that as an excuse, it's like, no, we just use that as another obstacle. How do we navigate this and still get it done?
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
perfect. I love
And
that.
like,
Love that.
oh yeah, do you have another question? Sorry, I'm like, I could go on
Last
forever.
one. Yeah, last one. Actually, my
Yeah.
phone's getting close to dying
Sorry.
here, so we'll wrap it up soon. No, this is perfect. Don't be sorry. This was amazing. But
Yeah.
the last one I had, and you can just go on
Yeah.
and tell me your open thoughts about this. If your best friend came to you tomorrow and she said she wants to start in a journey like this, but she's scared to fail again, what
Yeah.
would you tell her?
Oh, that's hard. Let's see. If they're scared to fail, I would say you're gonna fail. You like it's not perfect. Like I think that's something that also held me back because I like to be I hate failure. Well, I mean everyone does. But hey, like expect yourself to fail. What's important is like how are you going to come out of that, right? When I
Yes.
first started, again, like I hated lifting. Were my first workouts perfect? No. But the more that I did it, I not perfected it, but they got better and better. And yeah, could I maybe I was still doing a workout wrong, but that's why you have a coach to be like, "Hey, like let's redo this or whatever." Like but yeah, I just think like not being prepared for failure, but giving yourself that grace of like, "Hey, like especially if it's something new, like it's not going to be perfect. You need to expect that it's not going to be right, but that you can do it better." Especially in fitness because again like with everyone having a different body and like height whatever like different um what is it like different goals again like it's
Yeah.
I can't be like yeah you're not going to fail if I didn't fail because like your goals are different, your body's different, you're going to do everything differently. um but yeah, I just be like, and for me it's just take the risk. You know what I mean? What are you gonna
Yeah.
lose like in terms of trying? Like yeah, you might feel defeated for a while, but maybe you'll feel like okay, now I'm gonna do it again. Like now I feel better to try it again. Like for me, like I said, I'm a go-getter, so I will take the risk regardless of whether I have the knowledge or not. I'm like, okay, let's do it. Like as long as someone's there to teach me or whatever, like I'm gonna do it. Like let's do it. So
I love that. Yeah, that's perfect. That's exactly what I would expect to hear from you, because
yeah.
you are going to fail. I fail all the time. And I own that with you guys on our group
Hmm.
coaching calls. Like, hey, I
Yeah.
messed up this weekend, or I've been struggling with this. Or when we have like homework on our group calls, like I'm in there doing it with you guys because I'm
Yeah.
not perfect.
Hmm.
So for people to think like, oh, I want to do this thing and just everything's going to go perfect, I'm not ready to commit to that.
Hmm.
You're spot on. It's going to be hard. You're going to get uncomfortable. You're not going to have the
Yes.
confidence. But like you mentioned earlier, like you're like, I don't regret it one bit because I would
Exactly.
say 8 months ago, I was talking to a completely different Haiti.
Exactly. Yeah. And like even now I still mess up. Like obviously it's never going to be perfect, but like we strive to be better. Um but yeah, like I don't regret it at all. And like I was telling, someone else the other day, I'm like, no, I'm like, if this is something you want to do it now. You're not gonna regret it. Like it's gonna be uncomfortable and you're gonna hate it maybe for the first few weeks. But I remember after that first month of being in a calorie deficit, I was like, wow. Like one, I did do it. I was able to do it. And like I'm like, yeah, I don't know why I didn't do it sooner. Is what I was telling myself. I was like, I'm always like, I don't know why wasn't doing this sooner. Like, why is it that I'm barely doing this? And I'm still young,
Yes.
so like, this is for me. I don't regret it because I'm like, this is gonna set me up for the rest of my life. Like,
Yes.
if I can incorporate fitness now and always be in fitness till the day I die, it's gonna give me such a better life. Like, not even for looks, right? Or for competition. Like, it's just I will live a better and a healthier lifestyle. Like that's the base. That's the whatever, the ground base or whatever you call it.
Yeah, the
The
foundation. You're building
foundation. There you go. Yeah.
yeah, you're building the foundation for your
Yeah.
life right now, for that life of
Hmm.
longevity, which was the biggest goal you told me you had
Yes.
coming into this. Like, yeah, maybe you'll compete in the future. Yeah, I want to,
Hmm.
get more tone, more definition, but ultimately, I just want to live a happier, healthier life, and
Yeah.
that's the key right there. So, I guess as we close out right now, what
Yeah.
would you tell Haiti from a year ago before you started this? Any words of wisdom you would speak into her right now?
Yeah. I always tell myself, you won't regret it. This is for your better good, and it's gonna be an awesome ride. Like, obviously, I'm like, if I could get like if I could go back and get a snapshot of where I am now, I'd be like, okay, let's do it right now. Like, let's jump in, let's get rolling. Like, um, because just like the definition I've gotten in my muscles, I'm like, oh my gosh, like again, why was I not doing this sooner? Like, why didn't I have structure like a long time ago? So it's just like, yeah, you won't regret it. That's it. Like, it's gonna be awesome. So yeah.
Yes, I love it, love it. And yeah, just so you know, we are getting closer to your maintenance calories as we've gone out of
Yes.
this reverse
Yeah.
diet. So we are about to switch up how we do your nutrition plan, and I'm gonna
Yes.
change up your workouts too. So your new
Yeah.
workouts are coming
I'm
real soon for
excited.
you,
Oh
just so
my
you know.
gosh. Yes. Yeah.
Yes, the
It's so
next
awesome.
phase, the next phase.
Yep.
Heck yeah. Well, cool, Haiti. Thank you so much for
Yes.
doing this. I think your story is incredible, and I
Thank
think
you.
you're super inspiring. I think that you said that natural leader
Hmm.
instincts that you have, I think it shows, and it just continues to glow from you. And I think that's such a huge skill that you have that's going to help you in all assets of your life,
Yes.
not just health
Yeah.
and fitness, but all of it. So
Hmm.
I just want to say I appreciate you as a client for trusting in me, and so let's, oh man, I'm so excited for the future for
Yes.
you to continue
Me too.
continue this
Thank
journey.
you. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you for that scholarship. I feel like I wouldn't be here right now if I hadn't gotten that. So yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, very good point. Dang, that's a solid
Yeah.
point. Had you not applied for that, that would have been, yeah, you would have been in a
Yeah.
completely different boat right now. Who knows where you'd
Yeah.
be right now?
Exactly.
Really cool. Well, did you have any questions for me or anything you wanted to go over as we close out?
No, and like in case other people hear this, obviously, like the biggest thing is your support system. If I didn't have like, especially in like in my community, again, my mom's like, you don't need to lose weight, like, or even when I got to my lowest weight, she's like, you're losing too much weight. Like she's always like, why are you in the gym? You need to be around people that understand you. Like, Enoch, he is fitness focused as well. If we weren't
Yeah.
both in that same mentality, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at today because people are going to tend to want to bring you down. They don't want to see you succeed. And I'm not saying this is the case for everyone or like your family thinks that way, but if the people around you aren't in support of you, like then it's not going to work either. So don't, not to discourage like not doing it, but the people around you do matter. If you don't have a support system, it'll be harder to succeed. is, I think that's the biggest thing is like, if they don't care, if they're going to be like, no, like you, this is stupid, whatever, then you're not going to succeed. So the support around you does matter 100%. So
I love that. I love
yeah.
that. How would you say the support has been, not just for me, because obviously we communicate a lot, but
Yeah.
like within the group itself and our group calls?
Yeah, so again, like being around like-minded individuals. And again, like everyone's in a different phase of their fitness journey. Some of them might just be
Yeah.
starting out. Some of them might have been with you like me. I think now I might be your longest in terms of like the in the group call. I know you have like people that have been longer. But when you're with them, you just tend to push each other to that same goal, like you're in the same mentality, like you're like, no, you got this, like, or like you are able to share tips and tricks, meals, like that's the biggest thing. Because honestly, when I started, I was like I was punishing myself because I was like, there now 8 months in, I'm like, I have fun with my meals, like I can get Dutch Bros whatever, and before I'm like, wow, like while it is good to have the same thing over and over again, it's just easier to like copy and paste your meals.
Yep.
Now I'm like, no, like you can have fun with it. Like my protein yogurt bowl, I have cereal, walnuts, blueberries, raspberries, chocolate protein.
Yes.
And it's like if I knew I could do this earlier on, I might have had enjoyed it better. But
Yeah.
so just being able to share that, like again, or if you have someone who's gone through it, and I'll be like, no, like, why don't you try this? Why don't you try this protein coffee? Why, like with Enoch, I'll be like, you want to try my protein coffee? You're like, oh, actually, that's really good, or whatever. So just having that support, and you just find ways to enjoy it. Like fitness is not a punishment, and counting your macros is not a punishment either. Again, it's results without restriction. You can still enjoy what you love in moderation, and mix it up. That's like, for me, it's like, damn, like I wish. And I think people are scared to share what they do, but now I'm like, no, I remember I'd be like, okay, I know how to do protein waffles, or no, protein French toast with egg whites.
Yeah.
I can do like, I'd be like, guys, look, I did this, here's what I did. And then people can take it or not, can use it or not use it.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
I think when people think calorie counting, it's just right. They just think ground beef and rice, ground beef and rice, ground beef and rice. Like, no, like you can have fun, right? Like you can still have cereal, like you can, as long as you're doing it in moderation, and like. But and I'm guilty of that. I went into this and was like, nope, everything sweet, anything sugar, cut it out, cut it out. Like, um, but no, like there are healthier alternatives. We're just so used to like high sugar, high carb, like nothing, high
Yep.
fat. Like, no, like coffees. I love coffee. I can enjoy my coffee every day now. And I have different recipes for it. Like today I did the premier protein as my creamer instead of
Yeah.
almond milk. Like you can, like there's just so many recipes, and I think
Yes.
that's what scares people, because that scared me. I was like, wow, like I'm just
Oh
gonna be doing
yeah.
ground beef and broccoli for the rest of my life. Like that's what I thought.
Yeah.
No, like I eat things differently. I don't switch it up as often. I still try to keep a routine. Like I'll switch it up like maybe every 3 weeks. I'll do ground turkey or ground beef or ground chicken. But like if I switch it up too much, then I'll slip out of that. So yeah, just
Yeah.
knowing like find the right people to tell you what you can and cannot eat. Like, and your
Yes.
recipe book helped a lot too. I'm like, okay, mud cake, you can do. I forgot what other stuff I took out of there. Um, but yeah, it's just like, again, you have someone that has that foundation. But if you're following people that don't even know what they're talking about, then you're never gonna reach results. So
That's a
yeah.
fact. Yeah, and I love how you mentioned the recipes and sharing recipes too, like with
Mm.
each other, because you can then take the recipe and tweak it, switch around ingredients to fit your macros and still make it delicious. So finding
Exactly.
recipes is a lot more fun when you're around people that, like you said, are doing this also. Heck
Yeah,
yeah.
and yeah, and
I
so
love that.
you just have to be open minded. One, like be susceptible to change, but also know like that you can, like again, you still can enjoy what you like. Because the other day, I think not the other day, I think a couple weeks ago, I was able to have a tortilla de harina, a flour tortilla. and it fit in my macros. But I'm like, I don't want to do
Yeah.
this often because yes, a lot of flour, like a lot of carbs is like you shouldn't like. I didn't like. I cut out tortillas. Up until that point, I had not eaten a tortilla for 8 months. Also, like up until those couple
Dang.
weeks ago, when I tell you I was
Yeah.
having a tortilla with every meal of my day. So it's just like being more conscious about it. Like your body, you start to like be like, no, I don't even want that. Um,
Yeah.
and you can have it and be like, okay, I had it and that's it. Like
Yeah.
it's not the sacrifice that you think you're making is really not that big of a deal. Like it really
Yeah.
wasn't. So honestly,
And
like
and
I
your
just
carbs and your carbs
yes,
are on their way up anyway,
yeah,
so you're
yeah,
able to enjoy
exactly.
some tortillas now.
Yes, exactly. Yep, yep.
Heck yeah. Love it. Love it. Well, cool, Haiti. Wow, this was incredible. Again, thank you so much for
Yeah.
doing this. I know your story is going to inspire some other ladies out there. So this
Yes.
was really,
Yeah.
really cool, really fun. And yeah, I appreciate it very much. So
Yes, of course.
cool. Well, I will let you go about your day. I know you have some other plans for the rest of your day.
Yes.
So enjoy it. I'll let you get
Thank
to
you.
it.
All right.
Yeah, and I'll be in touch check in day later this
Yes.
week.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
All right, Haiti. Yeah, you have a good
Okay.
rest of your day.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.